Thank you for joining us for the news at noon. I'm Drew Carney.
And I'm China Green. ACLU Oregon is suing the city of Medford for what it's calling illegal spying.
So the group says public records show Medford police illegally spied on multiple people and groups involved in causes that address things like racial justice and LGBTQ+ issues. Both the city of Medford and Medford police have denied the group's claims, though. In a statement, the police department said they use public information to plan and staff events that impact public safety. But we're also hearing from the ACLU, who says the spying that their lawsuit addresses dates back now a couple of years.
Tracking what sort of events they were hosting, who was attending Black Lives Matter events, for example, who was attending kind of pro-abortion events. That kind of viewpoint-based information is not the business of police, and the police have no business collecting and maintaining it like they did to our clients.
In the early 1980s, the Oregon legislature approved a law barring law enforcement agencies from collecting information about the political, religious, or social views or activities of any individual or group unless it directly relates to a criminal investigation. This law was established after it came to light that Portland police had routinely surveilled civil liberties, racial justice, and other groups. The city of Medford refutes the claims made in this lawsuit, though, saying their police department's conduct does not violate Oregon's surveillance statute.
One of Portland's most prolific taggers will be spending the next 2.5 years in prison. 28-year-old Jerry Mijangos, who goes by KASR, pleaded guilty to 4 counts of criminal mischief in exchange for the 2.5-year sentence. It marks the first prison sentence under the city's crackdown on graffiti.
This is not an activity that you get a blank check to go do. There is a point where you may spend years of your life in prison for continually vandalizing property that is not yours.
Per the plea deal, the tagger has been credited for time served and will be eligible for time off for good behavior. If you've been to the Oregon Zoo anytime in the past year, you might want to check your credit. The zoo says that more than 120,000 visitors could have had their credit card information stolen. So according to the zoo, someone redirected transactions from a third-party vendor, potentially giving them access to credit card details from December of last year through this past June. The zoo says the site is now secure and is offering a year of free credit monitoring for those impacted.
Portland Mayor Ted Wheeler and Multnomah County Sheriff Nicole Morrissey O'Donnell have reached an agreement of sorts when it comes to enforcing the city's homeless camping ban. The sheriff had previously said she wouldn't book anyone into jail for violating the city ordinance, but now she says she's willing to change that stance for repeat offenders. Police officers will continue offering available shelter before they make any arrests, and the sheriff says she hopes any time spent detained will encourage people to reconsider shelter options.
I have seen where that has been productive, where removing someone from a specific situation, engaging with someone different, that they will access a service or resource that will put them on a better path forward out of homelessness.
Portland police are now waiting on a more comprehensive plan from the city and the sheriff's office before they begin taking people to jail. Once that plan is in place, the sheriff's office says it will reassess things after a 4-month trial. The Southwest Washington Accountable Community of Health, also known as SWATCH, is hosting an event today to bring awareness to fentanyl overdoses and also to remember people who have died from using the drug. It's part of the group's 8th annual Overdose Awareness Day. This event is happening in Vancouver with a memorial set up showing the names and the photos of people who have died from overdoses. We have more details about this event right here on your screen. The event includes Narcan training and giving people connections to recovery services.
The woman who set a 119-year-old church on fire in downtown Portland last year was found guilty, except for insanity. Court documents indicate Nicolette Fate was diagnosed with a mental disorder. A judge ordered that she be sent to the Oregon State Hospital in Salem under custody and treatment for up to 20 years. Police in Vancouver are looking for the person they say shot at several vehicles in a drive-by shooting. It happened just before 11:30 Monday night near Fruit Valley Road and West 31st. Police say they recovered more than 50 shell casings there. Luckily, no one was hurt, and so far, no word on any suspects.
Staying in Vancouver, where police have arrested the man they say tried to abduct an 11-year-old girl from a playground this past weekend. He's about an hour away from appearing in court. This happened Sunday afternoon at Leaser Crest Park in the Vancouver Heights neighborhood. Police say surveillance video helped them identify Michael McLaughlin. He's been charged with unlawful imprisonment and assault. Blair Best will be in court today and have an update for us coming up during KGW News at 4.
We're hearing from the family of a Salem man who lost his life after jumping into the Willamette to rescue a stranger. On the night of August 12th at Wallace Marine Park in Salem, Derek Morgenstern saw a woman jump from the Union Street Bridge into the Willamette. Witnesses told Salem police that he swam out to rescue the woman, helping her out of the current. Although she made it back to shore, Derek did not. His sisters say it was his natural instinct to go in after her.
He told her, "It's okay, I'm done. It's my time." And then he just, the next thing she knew, she looked back and he was gone.
Days later, divers located his body in the river since then. His sisters say that they've received an outpouring of support for Derek. They're now planning a celebration of life by the river.
The man accused of intentionally running over and killing 25 seagulls last month on the southern Washington coast faces multiple charges, including first-degree animal cruelty and reckless driving. We also have a warning here that some of the photos we're about to show you may be hard for some people to see. Witnesses took these photos, including this one that shows a seagull in the front grille of his Jeep. This all happened back on July 27th. Witnesses say that day, 64-year-old James Shepard Travis of Honolulu ran over and killed a flock of seagulls. He's also accused of almost hitting two people who were walking on the beach that day with their dogs. He's expected back in court for a hearing on September 13th.
The north entrance to Crater Lake National Park remains closed to allow firefighters to fight the Middle Fork fire. The north entrance road is closed from North Junction to Highway 138. The National Park Service says that fire crews are preparing control lines to prevent the fire from moving east and threatening the park. Now, while all other park roads remain open, officials warn visitors to expect longer wait times to get into the park. There's no word yet on when the north entrance will reopen.
All right, quick break from our news headlines this afternoon to check in with our friend Rod Hill in the Weather Center. What's happening behind you there, Rod?
And while we're tracking this upper level low, and it has a good chance of bringing at some point tomorrow night and Friday, rain down in that Crater Lake areas. Overall, the wildfire picture, because of the cooler weather and some more rain on the way, continues to be in pretty good shape. Notice the clouds out ahead of this low are now moving in. So parts of the valley have had some sun, mainly south of Portland, but it looks like if that's you, the sun will be disappearing this afternoon as more of a solid overcast moves in. And with that, an increasing chance that we see some sprinkles or maybe a trace of rain in the inland valley this afternoon. We've seen some rain showers along the coast, and you can see right now as that thicker cloud band moves in, the little green specks over the coast range, increasing sprinkles or traces of moisture in the air. Here's Cannon Beach live at noon, 67 degrees. We are cloudy in downtown Portland. We're at 71, and the remainder of your day, I think, holds in the 70s, but the cloudiness thickening, ongoing chances, some traces of rain, 77 at 5 o'clock. Scattered showers later this evening and overnight should add up to at least something in the rain gauge. And we'll talk about the rain coming up in the days ahead in my complete forecast.
All right, thank you, Rod. Night 2 of the Democratic National Convention wrapped up with speeches from some of the biggest names in the Democratic Party.
Former President Barack Obama and former First Lady Michelle Obama took to the stage to deliver back-to-back speeches. Both offered their endorsement of Vice President Kamala Harris and called to support their longtime ally in November.
Hope is making a comeback.
Kamala Harris won't be focused on her problems. She'll be focused on yours.
Doug Emhoff, who hopes to become the nation's first gentleman, also spoke.
She's always been there for our children, and I know she'll always be there for yours too.
Meanwhile, Vice President Kamala Harris and running mate Minnesota Governor Tim Walz rallied in nearby Milwaukee. Tonight is night 3 of the convention with several more speakers on tap, including former President Bill Clinton and the aforementioned Tim Walz. Meanwhile, former President Trump was in Michigan yesterday laying out his plans to crack down on crime if he is elected come November. So the former president pledged to make more use of the death penalty, promote stop and frisk policies, and also shut down the U.S.-Mexico border. And then the president pointed out Kamala Harris's record as California's Attorney General, painting his own picture of what electing her in November would mean.
Kamala Harris will deliver crime, chaos, destruction, and death. If she's allowed to be the president of the United States, you'll see levels of crime that you've never seen before. I will deliver law, order, safety, and peace, and I will protect those who protect us.
Former President Trump's schedule has him in North Carolina today as he continues to campaign across swing states.